Here to talk more about the strike is filmmaker and actress Ashley Cusato. Ashley, hi. Good morning.
Good morning. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you too. So there is a lot going on because we have the writer's strike going on, and then now the actor's strike. They could have potentially gone on strike, but I've heard that deadline's been extended to, I believe, July 12th.
Yes, so the Screen Actors Guild, which is SAG-AFTRA, they started their negotiations June 7th, and as of June 30th, the contracts for just film and television, which is what's being negotiated right now, was going to be up. So they were hopefully going to have an agreement at that time. There was progress. So the president of the Screen Actors Guild is Fran Drescher, and she had mentioned that things were positive. There was some progress. So they decided to extend the date to July 12th, which let everyone go home and enjoy the 4th of July holiday.
Right.
And continue conversations. And hopefully by July 12th, there will be an agreement. But if there isn't, the actors will strike with the writers.
Okay, so what is it that the actors are looking for when you're talking about this potential strike?
So the actors are looking for more compensation in their minimum rates, and that would be what an actor calls is scale. So when you work for a scale day rate, scale weekly rate, those are the minimums. And they also want more residuals, residual and royalties with the streamers, and find a way to structure that in the contracts this time around. And also they're looking for safeguards and protection against artificial intelligence, which the Writers Guild is also asking for. They don't want their likeness, their voice, their physical mannerisms and things like that being, copied and taken to create productions in the future, and limiting more job opportunities for them going forward as AI evolves.
Wow, interesting, because that's, like you said, something that has come up in the writer's strike that they are concerned about. Now, have Hollywood actors, they did see that, it's been a number of years since they've gone on strike before. I mean, this isn't something that happens very often.
It doesn't happen often. In fact, a couple things. Every 3 years, these contracts get negotiated. And historically, the writers do strike longer than other unions. This will be the first time, if the actors strike on July 12th, it'll be the first time in 6 decades since 2 unions in the entertainment business will have gone out on strike together at the same time. Not necessarily together, but at the same time.
Right.
In fact, 6 decades ago, it was Ronald Reagan who was the president of Screen Actors Guild, and that is when the Screen Actors Guild and the Writers Guild were both on strike at the same time. Actors were on strike for about 6 weeks. The writers were on strike for about 5 months. And the writers do historically strike longer. The duration in which their strikes do go longer than the other unions.
Now, something that's also interesting that we've seen with the writer's strike, that there are some actors that have been saying that they perhaps would jump into that strike. Is that what I saw? Yes.
You know what? There was a letter that went out last week, and over 1,000 actors signed it. A lot of well-known names, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Ben Stiller. A lot of people were getting on board, and they wanted to encourage the Screen Actors Guild's leadership not to compromise too quickly, not to give in on the things that they feel very strongly about. And so they just wanted to give them that extra support and know that they're willing to make the sacrifices that a strike does take. And it affects a lot of people. It's not just the actors, it's not just the writers. There's crew, there's catering, there's so many people that get employed through the entertainment business. In fact, in 2007 and 2008, the writers' strike at that time went on for 100 days. And it affected the California economy by $2.1 billion. So, that's a significant amount of employment that goes on through the entertainment business.
Yeah, and so, what do you think? What needs to happen in order for, not only for the actors to come to an agreement, but of course a lot of people keeping an eye on the writers that have continued to be in this strike? Nobody wants this to end up affecting their streaming, but it is if it continues to go on.
It does. There won't be new content. The writers, when there was, some talk of them going on strike, they were able to stockpile some scripts. They've gone through a lot of those scripts. If the actors do strike on July 12th, really everything gets shut down. Anything that might still be, moving along, which isn't a lot right now.
Yeah, so what needs to happen in order for this all to come to an end, do you think?
Well, look, obviously all the unions want to support each other. We are concerned for the writers as well. They've been on strike for 2 months. That's 60 days. It's approximately, that's a long time. For the actors, I think, again, I'm not personally in the rooms, but so I don't know specifically where they are in the negotiations. Yeah. But hopefully they'll come to some agreements where everyone feels comfortable going forward with all the things that we spoke about earlier, including, by the way, I didn't get to mention, was self-tape auditions. That's something that came up during the pandemic when we were under lockdown, and now a lot of the actors are asked to self-tape their auditions at home, invest in lights and cameras and having to edit their own audition tapes, or pay someone outside, like independent companies, to help them with the audition, read with them, things like that. Wow. So that's a lot of extra financial burdens, and so hopefully they can come to some agreements financially and some safeguards with AI, which is a big conversation now, and we can all get back to work.
Okay, all right. Well, Ashley Cusato, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your insight.
Oh, thank you, Ellie. Appreciate it.